Welcome back to the channel Valuable Coins History Coin Enthusiasts. In today's video, we're diving into the fascinating story of the Lincoln Wheat Penny, a tiny copper coin with a big piece of American history behind it. From its Denver Mint origins to its lasting symbol of post-war pride, this 1-cent piece carries a legacy of Abraham Lincoln and a golden era of American craftsmanship. So, sit back and let's uncover the hidden value, history, and beauty of top 6. First up, the 1951 D. Wheat Penny. The 1951 D. Lincoln Wheat Penny stands as one of the fascinating coins in American numismatic history. Minted during the post-World War II economic boom, this 1-cent coin carries with the legacy of Abraham Lincoln, the 16th President of the United States, and symbolizes a period of industrial recovery, national pride, and growing prosperity across America. The Wheat Penny series, also known as the Lincoln Wheat Cent, was introduced in 1909 to commemorate the 100th anniversary of Abraham Lincoln's birth. It replaced the Indian head cent and became the first U.S. coin to feature a real historical figure. The 1951 D issue continued this proud tradition more than 4 decades later, with Lincoln's dignified portrait designed by Victor David Brenner. The obverse of 1951 D penny showcases Lincoln's right-facing bust, with the word liberty on the left and the phrase, "In God we trust," inscribed above his head. Below the date appears a D mint mark, indicating that the coin was produced at the Denver Mint, one of the most active mints in the United States during the early 1950s. The reverse of the coin displays 2 stylized stalks of wheat curving around the sides, framing the inscriptions 1 cent and United States of America. Above these words lies a familiar motto, E pluribus unum, which translates to out of many one. This design symbolizes agricultural prosperity and unity, fitting themes for a nation rebuilding and expanding in the mid-20th century. The Denver Mint produced an impressive 625,355,000 Lincoln cents in 1951, making the 1951 D one of the higher mintage coins of the series. Despite its large production, collectors value it for its strong strikes, rich luster, and occasional variations in color, especially those displaying deep red or reddish-brown toning that remain highly sought after today. The metal composition of the 1951 D penny follows a standard post-war alloy of 95% copper and 5% tin and zinc. This composition had been used for most wheat pennies since 1909, except during World War II when steel cents were struck in 1943 to conserve copper for the war effort. By 1951, the U.S. Mint had fully returned to the traditional copper blend. The early 1950s marked an interesting period for coin production in America. The Denver Mint, equipped with modernized machinery, produced coins with sharper details than those from previous decades. The 1951 D pennies often feature bold mint marks and crisp details in Lincoln's hair and the wheat ears, qualities that make them favorites among detail-oriented collectors. From a historical perspective, the 1951 D Wheat Penny was minted during a time of global transition. The United States had emerged as a world power after World War II and was entering the early stages of the Cold War. Economic confidence was rising, families were growing, and coins like the 1951 D penny circulated widely in the hands of working Americans across towns, schools, and small businesses. For many collectors, the appeal of the 1951 D penny lies not only in its age, but also in its symbolism. It represents a generation that valued hard work, thrift, and patriotism, ideals embodied by President Lincoln himself. Holding such a coin today offers a tangible connection to that era's sense of purpose and progress. In terms of rarity, the 1951 D Wheat Penny is generally considered common in circulated condition due to its large mintage. However, in uncirculated grades MS65 and above, the coin becomes far more desirable. Coins that retain their original red, RD color, meaning full copper luster, can fetch significant premiums in the collector's market. Some of the most valuable 1951 D pennies exhibit exceptional eye appeal, minimal contact marks, and strong, even color. According to coin grading standards, an MS67 red specimen can command several $100s or more at auction, especially if certified by major grading services such as PCGS or NGC. Varieties and errors also add to the intrigue of the 1951 D penny. Collectors often search for minor die cracks, repunch mint marks, RPMs, or off-center strikes that occurred during production. While not as dramatic as the famous 1955 double die cent, certain 1951 D errors can still attract strong interest and raise the coin's value considerably. Over the years, this penny has transitioned from a simple pocket change item to a piece of collectible Americana. Its reddish copper tone, simple wheat design, and portrait of Lincoln make it instantly recognizable and nostalgic for generations who grew up using it. Many young collectors even start their first penny albums with the 1951 D issue. As time passes, the survival rate of fully read, uncirculated 1951 D cents continues to decline due to oxidation and mishandling. Each pristine example that remains preserved today is a small relic of post-war craftsmanship, representing over 7 decades of American history encapsulated in a single cent. Today, the 1951 D Lincoln Wheat Penny holds both sentimental and historical value. For seasoned collectors, it's a cornerstone of the Wheat Penny collection, bridging the gap between the early low-mintage issues of the 1910s and the transitional designs of the 1950s that would soon evolve into the Lincoln Memorial Cent in 1959. In conclusion, the 1951 D Wheat Penny is more than just a coin. It's a living symbol of American resilience and the enduring legacy of Abraham Lincoln. Whether found in a coin roll, inherited from an old collection, or purchased at auction, this humble 1-cent piece continues to tell the story of a nation's journey through change, unity, and progress, all captured within the shine of copper and the mark of Denver's proud D. Next up, the 1952 D Wheat Penny, minted at the Denver Mint, stands as one of the later era examples from the beloved Lincoln Wheat Cent series, a design that shaped American coinage for nearly half a century. Produced during a period of post-war recovery and strong economic growth, the 1952 D penny reflects the United States' transition into a modern era marked by industrial expansion, improved minting technology, and a renewed national confidence. Although modest in appearance, this 1-cent coin represents the pride of American craftsmanship and the spirit of everyday commerce in the early 1950s, circulating widely among workers, families, and school children across the country. Historically, the coin traces its roots back to 1909, when the Wheat Cent series was introduced to honor the 100th anniversary of Abraham Lincoln's birth. By 1952, the design had already become iconic, distinguished by Victor David Brenner's portrait of Lincoln on the obverse and symbolic wheat stalks on the reverse, representing American agriculture and strength. The 1952 D issue belongs to the later phase of this long-running design, just 7 years before it will be replaced by the Lincoln Memorial Cent in 1959. This places a coin at a fascinating time in numismatic history, when the wheat cent was nearing the end of its classic run, yet still very much embedded in the everyday lives of Americans. The Denver Mint, marked by the small D mint mark below the date, played a crucial role in producing circulating coinage for the western and central United States. In 1952, it struck over 746 million wheat cents, a very large mintage that ensured the coin would be abundant in circulation. Despite its high numbers, the coin still retains significant collector interest today due to its age, copper composition, and strong connection to a beloved American coin series. The Denver Mint was known for its efficient production, and the 1952 D penny is often recognized for having relatively strong strikes compared to other mint facilities of the era. In terms of physical characteristics, the 1952 D Wheat Penny continues the classic specifications of the Lincoln Cent series, a 95% copper composition with 5% tin and zinc, giving it a warm, reddish-brown appearance when freshly minted. Over decades of circulation, these coins typically darken into deep brown tones, though some exceptionally preserved pieces still retain their original mint luster. The obverse features Lincoln's profile accompanied by the inscriptions, "In God We Trust," "Liberty," and the date with the D mint mark. The reverse displays 2 bold wheat stalks curving upward along the edges, framing the inscriptions 1 cent, United States of America, and E Pluribus Unum. Although the 1952 D penny is not considered rare in circulated grades, it becomes significantly more interesting in higher levels of preservation. Coins in mint state grades, especially those with strong original red color, denoted as MS 65RD, MS 66RD, etc., command higher prices because red copper is extremely reactive and difficult to preserve over 70-plus years. Such coins were usually saved in rolls, bags, or collections shortly after minting. Today, fully red gems from 1952 D are prized by collectors who specialize in high-end wheat cents. From a market value perspective, circulated examples of the 1952 D penny are generally affordable and accessible, making them ideal for beginning collectors. Values typically range from a few cents up to a couple of dollars, depending on grade. However, uncirculated red specimens can be much more valuable, with prices increasing sharply as the grading scale rises. Top-graded examples certified by professional grading services may sell for hundreds of dollars, especially those displaying exceptional color, clean surfaces, and sharp details. Errors in varieties, such as off-center strikes, die cracks, and repunched mint marks (RPMs), can further elevate value. Collectors also appreciate the 1952 D wheat penny for its connection to an important period in American history. The early 1950s were marked by the end of World War II, the beginning of the Cold War, innovations in science and manufacturing, and a booming post-war economy. The pennies circulated through households during the rise of television, suburban expansion, and the cultural beginnings of modern America. Holding a 1952 D penny today is like holding a small piece of that transformative era, making it not only a collectible coin, but also a tangible reminder of the nation's evolving story. The aesthetic qualities of the Wheat Penny series add further charm. The warm copper tones, the bold simplicity of the wheat ears, and the historic portrait of Lincoln all combine to create one of the most recognizable and beloved coins in United States history. Many collectors begin their numismatic journey with wheat pennies because they blend affordability, beauty, and historical storytelling in a way few other coins can match. The 1952 D issue, widely available yet historically rich, fits perfectly into that tradition. Additionally, the 1952 D penny serves as a popular piece for those assembling full date and mint mark wheat cent collections. Its availability makes it a cornerstone coin for completing sets from the 1950s, while high-grade examples offer serious collectors opportunities for investment and competition in registry sets. The combination of accessibility and premium potential gives this coin a strong presence in the hobby. Ultimately, the 1952 D. Lincoln Wheat Penny is more than just a small copper coin. It is a symbol of American heritage, artistry, and economic history. Whether discovered in an old jar, inherited from a family collection, or chosen for a specialized numismatic set, the coin carries with it a story of mid-century America and the enduring legacy of the wheat cent design. Its abundant mintage ensures that it remains within reach for new collectors, while its beauty and historical significance keep it firmly rooted in the hearts of seasoned numismatists. In every way, the 1952 D penny stands as a meaningful and nostalgic piece of American coinage history. Next up, the 1953 D wheat penny is a cherished coin among American collectors, representing not only a vital part of U.S. currency, but also a reminder of post-war America's economic and industrial growth. Minted in Denver, the coin bears a small D mint mark beneath the date on the obverse front side. This coin belongs to the famous Lincoln Wheat Cent series, which was first introduced in 1909 to honor the 100th birthday of Abraham Lincoln, the 16th President of the United States. By 1953, the wheat cent had already become a beloved piece of American coinage, known for its simplicity, symbolism, and historical significance. The obverse of the 1953 D penny features the iconic right-facing bust of Abraham Lincoln, designed by the Lithuanian-born sculptor Victor David Brenner. Above Lincoln's head are the words, "In God We Trust," with Liberty appearing to the left and the date 1953 with a small D below it to indicate the Denver Mint. The reverse of the coin proudly displays two stalks of durum wheat circling the denomination 1 cent and the country name United States of America. The motto, E pluribus unum, arches across the top, symbolizing unity among the states. This design, often called the wheat ears reverse, gave the coin its popular nickname, the Wheat Penny. The Denver Mint produced a large number of 1953 D Wheat Pennies, an impressive total of 700,515,000 coins. This high mintage means a coin is not considered rare in circulated condition, but well-preserved examples, especially those with full red luster, are highly sought after by collectors. During this time, the U.S. Mint focused on ensuring adequate coin supply for the booming post-war economy, as the 1950s marked a period of rapid industrial expansion and suburban development across America. The 1953 D penny, like other wheat cents minted after 1944, was composed of 95% copper and 5% tin and zinc. This composition gave the coin its warm, reddish-brown tone and durability. It weighs 3.11 grams and has a diameter of 19 millimeters. The minting process involved planchets being fed into presses that stamped the design with precise pressure, resulting in sharp details, especially noticeable in Lincoln's hair, the lettering, and the wheat ears on the reverse. To truly understand the 1953 D penny, one must look at the broader historical landscape of the early 1950s. America was entering a new age of prosperity after the hardships of World War II and the Korean War. President Dwight D. Eisenhower was in office. The economy was booming and American manufacturing was at its peak. The penny, though small, symbolized everyday American life, from buying candy for a cent to saving coins in a jar. It was a working man's coin, circulating widely in every pocket across the nation. The Denver Mint, established in 1906, had become one of the most efficient coin-producing facilities in the world by the 1950s. In 1953, it was responsible for producing the majority of Lincoln cents circulating in the western and central United States. The small D beneath the date is a mark of pride for Denver's craftsmanship. Despite the high production numbers, the Denver Mint maintained excellent striking quality that makes many 1953 D pennies visually appealing even today. While the 1953 D penny is not among the rarest of the wheat cent series, its value varies widely depending on its condition. A well-circulated example might only be worth 2 to 10 cents, but an uncirculated or mint state MS coin with strong red coloration can fetch $5 to $15 or more. Exceptional pieces graded or higher by professional services like Orange GC can sell for hundreds of dollars. The highest graded examples, especially those with brilliant red luster and minimal marks, are prized by numismatists for their eye appeal. Some 1953 D Wheat Pennies are famous for their minting errors, which make them valuable collectibles. Known varieties include die cracks, off-center strikes, double dies, and repunch mint marks. A D, where the mint mark appears twice, can significantly increase the coin's desirability and price. These error coins are especially exciting to collectors because they represent small but fascinating imperfections in the minting process, turning an ordinary penny into a rare find. Collectors often categorize 1953 D Wheat Pennies based on their color preservation: brown BN, red-brown RB, and red RD. The original red luster fades over time as copper reacts with air, forming a brownish patina. Coins kept in original rolls, protected from oxygen and humidity, can retain their full red brilliance even after decades. A fully red 1953 D penny in high grade remains one of the most visually striking coins from the era. Beyond monetary worth, the 1953 D Wheat Penny holds deep sentimental and cultural significance. It connects collectors to the golden age of American coinage, when designs emphasize simplicity, honor, and national pride. Many people who find a 1953 D penny in change today are amazed that such an old piece of history still circulates. For some, it recalls childhood memories of coin collecting or stories told by grandparents who lived during the 1950s. The 1953 D Wheat Penny was minted just 6 years before the end of the wheat design. In 1959, the reverse design was changed to feature the Lincoln Memorial in honor of the 150th anniversary of Lincoln's birth. This makes all wheat pennies, including the 1953 D, part of a closed historical chapter in U.S. coinage. As the years go by, these coins grow scarcer in pristine condition, increasing both their collectible and nostalgic value. The 1953 D. Lincoln Wheat Penny stands as a timeless emblem of American history, craftsmanship, and resilience. Though small in denomination, its legacy looms large. Each surviving coin carries with a story of an era defined by hope, progress, and hard work. Whether held by a collector, passed down through generations, or discovered in an old jar, the 1953 D penny continues to remind us that even the smallest pieces of metal can hold immense historical and sentimental value. Next up, the 1956 D Wheat Penny, minted in Denver, stands as one of the final chapters in the legendary wheat cent series that ran from 1909 to 1958. By the time this coin entered circulation, the United States Mint had already begun transitioning into a modern post-war era of mass production, and the 1956 D cent reflects this shift with its remarkably high mintage and widespread distribution. Although it was never intended to be rare, the coin today holds strong historical value because it represents the closing period of the beloved Lincoln wheat ear design, which had already become American numismatic icon for nearly 5 decades. Its placement near the end of the wheatback era gives it nostalgic importance, especially to collectors seeking late series coins preserved in beautiful condition. On the obverse of the 1956 D Wheat Penny, Victor David Brenner's classic portrait of Abraham Lincoln remains unchanged from the original 1909 design. This sculpture was created to honor the 100th anniversary of Lincoln's birth and became the first U.S. coin to feature a real historical figure. By 1956, Lincoln's profile had become one of the most recognizable images in American coinage. The details of the hair, coat, and facial features on these late series cents are typically sharper and more refined due to improved minting technology. The D mint mark, placed just below the date, signifies that the coin was minted in Denver, a facility known for producing crisp, well-struck coins during the 1950s. The reverse of the coin features the famous wheat ear design, with 2 stylized wheat stalks curving along the sides to frame the inscriptions 1 cent and United States of America. This design symbolizes American agriculture, strength, and economic growth during the early 20th century. Above the lettering, E Pluribus Unum reinforces the national motto. In 1956, the Mint was preparing to soon replace this reverse with the Lincoln Memorial design in 1959, making the late 1950s wheat pennies a significant transitional period in U.S. numismatic history. The 1956 D cent therefore captures one of the last years of this classic agricultural symbolism before the shift to a monument-themed coin. The historical context of the 1956 D penny is rooted in a booming American economy. The United States was experiencing post-war prosperity, population growth, and widespread industrial expansion. This economic environment fueled the massive production of coins to meet circulating demand, leading to the extremely high mintage of the 1956 D wheat cent, over 1.09 billion coins. This enormous production ensured that the coin was common in circulation for many decades. Even today, it is still found in old collections, jars, and coin rolls, showing how deeply it became woven into everyday American life. Despite its high mintage, the 1956 D Wheat Penny remains interesting for collectors due to several noteworthy die varieties and striking issues. Among these repunch mint marks, RPMs, are the most famous. During the 1950s, mint marks were still applied by hand, meaning slight shifts or doubling could occur. As a result, collectors can find versions with visible extra impressions of the D mint mark, some subtle, some dramatic. These RPM varieties can elevate the value of otherwise common coins, especially in uncirculated grades. Minor die cracks, die chips, and other small minting anomalies also appear on some examples, adding additional collector interest. In terms of rarity, circulated 1956 D wheat pennies are very common, but high-grade uncirculated specimens, especially ones in brilliant red RD condition, are much harder to locate. Copper darkens over time, so finding coins that still possess their original fiery mint luster requires careful searching or acquiring pieces preserved since the day they were minted. The difference between a brown BN, red-brown RB, and red RD surface is significant in the coin market, often separating a low-value coin from one worth many multiples of its typical price. This makes condition one of the most important factors when evaluating this particular year. From a market perspective, most circulated examples of the 1956 D penny hold modest monetary value, generally worth a small premium above face value. However, sharply struck uncirculated examples, especially those graded by professional services such as PGGS or NGC, can command much higher prices. In extremely high grades like MS66, MS67, or with exceptional eye appeal, the coin becomes far more desirable. This is because even though the mintage was huge, only a small percentage survived with perfect surfaces, no spots, and full original red luster. Some top-graded examples have sold for impressive amounts in auctions due to their flawless preservation. Collectors appreciate the 1956 D Wheat Penny not only for its availability, but for its role in teaching beginners about die varieties, mending errors, and copper preservation. Its affordability makes it a perfect entry-level coin, yet its higher grade and variety examples offer depth for advanced collectors as well. Many hobbyists consider the 1956 D an essential final decade piece in any complete wheat cent collection. Its blend of historical relevance, strong design, and the charm of late-series copper coins keeps it constantly in demand. The legacy of the 1956 D Wheat Penny continues today as a reminder of America's mid-20th century identity. It represents a time when pennies still held purchasing power, when American coinage celebrated simplicity and agricultural heritage, and when the wheat cent design was nearing its end after nearly 50 years of circulation. Though it may not be a rare treasure, it is a beloved relic of its time, one that bridges a gap between the classic wheat ears and the modern Lincoln Memorial design that followed shortly thereafter. In conclusion, the 1956 D Wheat Penny stands as both a common yet historically rich piece of American coinage. It honors Lincoln's legacy, reflects immense industrial advancement of the era, and holds strong collector appeal due to varieties, high-grade examples, and its position near the end of the wheat series. For anyone building a wheat penny set, exploring copper coinage, or appreciating mid-century American history, the 1956 D remains a fascinating and rewarding coin to study, preserve, and enjoy. Next up, the 1957 D Wheat Penny, struck at the Denver Mint, represents one of the final chapters in the long and iconic run of the Lincoln Wheat Cent series, a design that had circulated in American pockets since 1909. By the time this particular coin was minted, the wheat penny had already become a familiar symbol of American life, cherished for its simplicity and everyday usefulness, while also reflecting nearly half a century of national economic changes. The year 1957 sits near the end of the wheat reverse era, which would be replaced only 2 years later in 1959 with the Lincoln Memorial design. Because of this, the 1957 D issue embodies a blend of nostalgia and transition, linking the earlier decades of American coinage with the modern era that would follow. Historically, the 1950s were a period of renewed American growth, and the nation was booming economically after the challenges of World War II and the Korean War. Consumer spending was rising, new industries were emerging, and the United States was becoming a global superpower. The Denver Mint, known for its high-volume production, played a major role in meeting the rapidly increasing demand for circulating coins. This environment explains why the 1957 D Wheat Penny was produced in massive quantities, serving the expanding American economy and keeping pace with the growing population and commercial activity. Even while millions of Americans handle these cents every day, the coins also subtly carried forward the long-standing tradition of honoring Abraham Lincoln, symbolizing unity and national pride. On the obverse, the 1957 D Wheat Penny features the classic portrait of President Abraham Lincoln, designed by Victor David Brenner. The portrait had remained virtually unchanged since 1909, and its elegant simplicity allowed it to transcend generations. Lincoln's portrait represented not only his historical significance, but also America's reverence for freedom, justice, and leadership. Above his bust appears the motto, "In God We Trust," a phrase that had become increasingly meaningful in the context of the Cold War. To the left of the bust stands the bold word "Liberty," and to the right is the date 1957, accompanied by the D Mint mark, identifying Denver as the birthplace of the coin. The reverse of the 1957 D penny showcase is a beloved wheat ear design, another Brenner creation. Two perfectly curved wheat stalks frame the words 1 cent and United States of America, acknowledging agriculture as one of the driving forces behind the nation's development. This imagery was more than decorative. It symbolized growth, nourishment, and the deep agricultural roots that supported early American society. The motto, E pluribus unum, sits above the design, expressing the unity of the United States during a time when international tensions made national cohesion more important than ever. This classic reverse, simple yet powerful, had become deeply ingrained in American culture by the late 1950s. The mintage of the 1957 D Wheat Penny was extraordinarily high, with over 1 billion coins struck, making it one of the most abundant wheat pennies ever produced. This massive production ensured that the coin would circulate widely across the country, appearing in countless transactions, from grocery stores to gas stations to school cafeterias. As a result, most surviving examples are common, especially in worn condition. However, despite its overall high mintage, the coin still remains significant to collectors because it represents the end of an era. Collectors often find charm in the coins minted during the final years before the historic wheat design was discontinued. In terms of rarity, the 1957 D penny is generally considered a regular issue coin with no major scarce varieties. But what does attract collector interest are the high-grade mint state examples, especially those with bright red RD luster. These well-preserved coins are often taken from original bank wrap rolls or old coin hoards that manage to survive for decades without exposure to air or circulation. Such specimens can be surprisingly beautiful, showcasing sharp details in Lincoln's portrait and crisp definition in the wheat stalks on the reverse. The challenge for collectors is not finding a 1957 D penny, but finding one with exceptional eye appeal, minimal marks, and bold original color. From a market standpoint, circulated in 1957, D wheat pennies hold modest monetary value due to their abundance, but their historical and sentimental worth is far more than their face value. Uncirculated and red gem examples, on the other hand, can command significantly higher prices among collectors because of their rarity and pristine condition. The demand for high-grade wheat pennies continues to rise as more collectors focus on building complete date and mint mark sets featuring the final years of the Lincoln Wheat Series. For many collectors, owning a stunning 1957 D coin is an opportunity to capture the beauty of a once common cent in its finest preserved form. Another fascinating aspect of the 1957 D wheat penny is its role in storytelling. People who grew up in the 1950s often remember finding wheat pennies in their pocket change, which is why this coin inspires nostalgia and fond memories. Today, young collectors who discover this coin are struck by the contrast between its age and its familiar Lincoln design, illustrating how some elements of American coinage remain timeless. Many collectors enjoy the idea that the pennies sitting in their albums once traveled to the hands of Americans during a transformative decade marked by rock and roll, space exploration, and rapid cultural evolution. The 1957 D also appeals to metal composition enthusiasts because it still carries a classic bronze alloy used for most wheat pennies. Composed of 95% copper and 5% tin and zinc, the coin offers a warm, reddish-brown color that naturally ages into various tones depending on storage and circulation. This composition gives the coin durability and a distinctive charm that many modern copper-plated zinc cents lack. The feel, weight, and appearance of these older bronze cents remind collectors of a time when even the smallest denomination carried a sense of craftsmanship and character. In the broader context of American numismatics, the 1957 D wheat penny serves as an important historical marker. It symbolizes not only the conclusion of the Wheat Series, but also the enduring legacy of Lincoln's portrait, which continues to adorn the 1 cent coin to this day. Its placement near the end of the wheat era makes it a key piece in any serious Lincoln cent collection, and its widespread availability ensures that collectors of all levels, from beginners to experts, can enjoy owning and studying the coin. Whether kept for its history, its design, or its nostalgic appeal, the 1957 D remains a cherished relic of mid-20th century America.